Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Office Bloke Aidan.
Here we are, two of us today. What death row looks like around the world.
So
I don't know how many countries there are that still do the death penalty.
I couldn't tell you the exact amount.
There's a lot in like the Middle East.
I know some countries that do. Yeah. America still does it.
America still does it. Yeah. I know we don't over here.
No.
Although some of the crimes that are committed probably definitely deserve it of it.
Yeah, 100%.
But
I think if you take a life, you should. I think like life for life.
I agree
Depends
with that.
if it's like with intent.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But at the same time, sometimes I know a lot of people. I don't know them, but I've seen stories. A lot of people have been put away who've been proven innocent later on. And you think,
no, yeah,
okay,
obviously, if it's proven.
Without doubt, yeah, it's without any doubt, yeah, I kind of agree with that, and I think that's it works pretty much like that most around the world. But these certain punishments in certain areas of the Middle East that I've seen that carry the death penalty, and I'm like, whoa,
they still like behead them in public or something.
They do, yeah.
Oh right,
so in Saudi
we'll
Arabia,
find out.
Yeah.
Let's get
This may shock you. 55 countries around the world still practice the death penalty.
55?
But they are dramatically different.
That's a lot.
From Japan's death row that drives inmates insane, to Saudi Arabia's death row that has a dark, evil twist. The first country we have to look at is the USA. The USA hands out many death sentences per year, but surprisingly, it's not even in the top 10. Around 20 people are sentenced to death row every year in the USA. In many states, death row is illegal, and some states don't practice it despite never actually outlawing it. But these 11 states do actively carry out death sentences. Inmates will get these sentences for various crimes, most commonly homicide.
I think it's for his haircut. But,
yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah,
it looked like it anyway.
It's one of them as well. I think someone's gonna have to correct me here because I think sometimes in the USA you can sit on death row for a long time.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah, I think sometimes
that's just
many,
toying
many
with them.
Yeah. Well,
imagine being there, like at least you knowing you're gonna die.
But I wonder if they give you like a date, or did he just say we'll give you a date so many months in advance, or is it kind of like today? Come on.
No, I think it is like you get a date so many months in advance.
No, but I wonder if it's like, or did he just open the door and go, today's your day? Come on. Pack
no,
up.
I think it's a certain date.
Don't know.
Related crimes, but also espionage, treason, as well as extreme cases of narcotics trafficking. USA death penalty methods vary state by state, but there are 5 methods used in the USA. These are lethal injection, electric chair, firing squad, gas chamber, and gas asphyxiation. But what actually happens to an inmate on death row in the USA? 24 hours before they will be taken from their cells and moved to what is cheerfully known as the death house. As they enter the death house, this will be the last time the inmate will ever be outside. They will then be given a full body search and given new clothing. They will then be taken to their new and last cell, known as the Death Watch cell. There, the inmate will spend their final night. Some inmates choose to sleep, but others can't, knowing what's coming. At the 15-hour mark, they will be woken up. They will then shower and be given a regular prison breakfast. At the 14-hour mark, they will be allowed to see their friends and family for one last time. They will also get 45 minutes to make any final phone calls. At the 12-hour mark, all visitations will be cut off. The inmate will then be given a regular prison lunch, and are then allowed to see a priest or imam. Inmates carry many regrets and secrets, and this gives them one last chance to confess and have a clear mind. At the 8-hour mark, the inmate will be allowed to see their last sunset. The inmate will then be allowed to write letters for 1 hour, writing their final goodbyes to friends and family. At the 6-hour mark, the inmate will order their last meal. Despite what many think, they can't order whatever they want, instead having to stick to a $30 budget, which with today's prices isn't that much. If the inmates are being executed with an electric chair, they will then have their heads shaved. This is to prevent their hair catching on fire. The inmate will then take their last ever shower, and then eat their last meal. At the 3-hour mark, witnesses arrive. These are the people who are going to watch the execution happen.
Whoa.
They're normally relatives.
Oh, I was just going to say.
Why would you want to watch that if it's your relative?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the head shaving as well, neither. I don't think it's because they catch their head on fire. I think it's probably to transmit, like, the hair might cause, like, less, what do you call it, conduction.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's what I would have thought they shave your head for. Don't think it was to do with catching on fire.
Of the victim, but sometimes the inmate's family comes too. At the 1-hour mark, the inmate will be walked to what's known as the death chamber, escorted by a team of 5 guards. The inmate will then be strapped to a chair or bed. At the 12-minute mark, the witnesses will be moved into the watching room. The curtains will then be undrawn. The window is one way, meaning the inmate never sees the people watching him. At the 10-minute mark, the inmate gets to say their last words. The inmate will then get one final visit from a priest or imam imam if they wish, and after that, the execution will take place. There are currently 2,500 people on death row in the United States. It often takes decades for these executions to
Yeah, if there's 2,500 people on it right now and there's only 20 that happen a year, how long have people gone back? Do you know how long have people been waiting?
Do you know in the world of like reality TV, right?
Yeah.
2,500 inmates on an island.
Oh my god. You're onto something there. Fight to the death.
Yeah.
be carried
my
out
standing,
because
that's my
inmates
standing,
are
yeah.
entitled to many appeals. But it wasn't always like this. The USA once executed a 14-year-old boy. George Steiny was accused of taking 2 girls' lives. He was too small to sit on the electric chair, so had to sit on top of a Bible. But since 2005, you now need to be over 18 to be given a death sentence
Yeah,
in the
I would've
USA.
Actually, that's
America's death row may sound harsh, but I can assure you it's nothing compared to Saudi Arabia's. Every year, Saudi Arabia ends many people's lives, with an average of over 185 executions every year. In Saudi Arabia, people get death sentences for minor crimes, including burglary, treason, espionage, and narcotics. But you can also be given a death sentence for leaving Islam, as well as cheating on your wife or husband, or having a same-gender relationship. You can even be given a death sentence.
Jesus.
Do you know when it says there things like same gender relationship, right? Yeah, you go. I walk down the street, right, and I know Palestine's a different area to Saudi Arabia, so I think Saudi's a different country to what you've got with what's going on with Palestine. But you see a lot of like the local. We live in an area it's got a lot of gay people in the area where we live, and I see them all protesting, free Palestine and all this. And I'm thinking, if you went over there, they're not going to really like you.
Yeah.
They're not. They don't really welcome people of what you're doing. They don't really take well to it.
No, I know.
So it's be careful what you wish for in a certain way. Yeah, and they see a lot of them going all out for it. And if it's punishable by death in Saudi Arabia, can you imagine?
I know, right?
I know there was a big uproar about when they're hosting the World Cup and stuff like that. If they got them beliefs, what happens if 2 gay guys want to go and watch the World Cup together?
Very true.
Because there's a lot of people who are gay who watch football. There is. It's the way it is.
Sentence for witchcraft. Saudi Arabia has 3 execution methods, and they're all wild. The first is firing squad. The second is stoning. This is where someone is buried up to their head in sand. Stones are then thrown at them until they lose their life. And the most common method is beheading. This is done using a scimitar, a large curved sword. Afterwards, bodies are often put on public display to scare everyone else into not committing the same crime. Unlike in the USA, Saudi Arabia dish out executions very fast, but while they wait, they're normally kept in this prison, named Al Hayr Prison. Inmates are often kept in isolation cells, and are subjected to physical and psychological hell. Inmates are often not allowed to contact their families. Executions normally happen within the same year someone is sentenced to death row. Another country with a surprisingly nasty death row is...
To be fair, that is probably why places like that are quite safe. Relatively, like if you just walk down the street,
you're kind of safe in an environment, but at the same time, just one mistake could cause you cost you your life.
Yeah, 100%.
And that could be just holding somebody's hand. Me sort of like saying to you, "Hey, well done," sort of thing, and all of a sudden, "Oh, gay, are you? Come here, that's done." I'm sure it doesn't work like that, but you get the gist. You get the gist of what I'm talking about. I had a mate who went riding. We're in Saudi Arabia on a work sort of trip, and he went riding on his bike in the morning. He worked there. He lived there. He went riding on his bike in the morning with shorts and a vest on. And the religious police arrested him and took his bike off and everything, because he just had shorts and a vest on. But he did it regularly. This is one time but I don't think they have the religious police anymore. I think they've gone away.
Japan. Aside from the USA, Japan is the only democratic country that still has death row, with an average of 5 executions per year. There are only 3 crimes you can commit to get the death penalty: homicide, treason, and crimes against the state. Normally, you need to end multiple lives to be sentenced to death row. In most countries, inmates on death row are told when they're going to lose their lives far in advance, but not in Japan. Instead, inmates are only told 1 or 2 hours before the execution, meaning that they have no idea when will be their last day on Earth. It could be years from now, or it could be in 2 hours. This sometimes makes inmates go insane. To make matters worse, the inmates' family is only told after they've been executed, meaning that they have no chance to say goodbye. While the inmates are on death row, they're kept in very strict prisons,
they don't
said
mess
to be the
about.
strictest in the world. They're told exactly how to sit in their cells. They have to always look down at the floor and can never look up. They're also not allowed to speak unless spoken to. row, and they have to work for over 13 hours per day. But a country with an
prison.
even worse
Yeah.
death row is China. China executes the most people per year, averaging at over 1,000 executions every year. In China, you can be given the death penalty for many crimes, including serious fraud, bombing, flooding, rioting, separatism, rebellion, political dissent, subversion, sneaking people into China, piracy, corruption, aircraft hijacking, espionage, abandoning the military, endangering national security, and many other crimes. In China, no matter how rich
Sounds like Britain.
or powerful you are, you can be given a death sentence. In 2022, high-up politician Fu Zhuangha was sentenced to death row after taking nearly $17 million in bribes.
Oh, we'd have no
And in
government. We'd have no
2014,
government.
Billionaire
Jeez.
businessman Liu Han was also given a death sentence, being executed 1 year later in 2015. These executions are carried out using either a firing squad or lethal injection. While inmates wait for their execution date, they will be in a Chinese prison, which are known for their very harsh conditions. Inmates sometimes have to work for 16 hours per day. They will also have their heads shaved and have to look down at the ground at all times. But a country with even worse death row conditions is Somalia. Somalia is known as one of the most dangerous countries in the world. It is the only African country that carries out public executions.
See, you're on
These are
corners, that
done
guy.
either by hanging, firing squad, or stoning. Somalia executes an average of 13 people per year. These sentences are given out for homicide, treason, espionage, and abandoning the military. But you can also get a death sentence for leaving Islam, blasphemy, cheating on your husband or wife, and having a same-gender relationship. While inmates await their execution date, they will be kept in one of Somalia's worst jails, which are known to be very overcrowded and dirty. Death row inmates are normally sent to Mandera prison, said to be Somalia's worst prison. But some would say death row in Belarus is even worse. Belarus is the only country in Europe to still use capital punishment. You can be sent to death row for crimes such as treason, sabotage, and conspiracy to seize power. This is because Belarus is Europe's last dictatorship. While inmates wait for their execution, they will be sent to Belarus's worst prison, which is famous for housing political prisoners. Belarus executes an average of 2 people per year, but a country known for executing far more people is Indonesia. In 2005, Indonesia hit the headlines. This was after 9 Australians were arrested. They were attempting to smuggle narcotics. 6 of them were sentenced to life in prison, but 2 were sent to death row, and in 2015 were executed by firing squad. This caused massive outrage, but many executions still take place in Indonesia, normally for narcotics and piracy. Another country with a surprisingly harsh death row is India. In India, you can be sent to death row for homicide, narcotics, aircraft hijacking, espionage, kidnapping, abandoning the military, and even partaking in human sacrifice. In 2023, India gave out 120 death sentences. These are always done by either hanging or firing squad. Death row inmates are kept in awful prisons. Indian prisons are famous for overcrowding, having over 25 million backlogged cases. The cells are very crowded, dark, and dirty, and inmates are only told their execution date a few days before it happens. But one country you won't be surprised has a terrible death row is North Korea. In North Korea, just about anything can land you on death
Surprise.
row. This includes plots against the nation, working with enemy countries, circulating harmful information, political dissidents, visiting foreign websites, watching foreign movies or TV shows, listening to foreign radio, inappropriate words, making international phone calls, watching adult material, and returning to North Korea after defecting. Many high-up North Korean officials have been
Sounds
given
shit.
a death sentence, including Kim Jong-un's own uncle. The methods used are firing squad, hanging, beheading, and even being shot with a missile. Some of these executions are done in public. In 2022, a 22-year-old man was publicly executed for listening to K-pop. While North Korean inmates are on death row, they are sent to a labor camp. This is where they have to do back-breaking work for sometimes 20 hours per day. Many lose their lives in these camps, but if they survive, they will later be executed by the guards. And to make matters worse, their entire family will be sent to the camps as well. This is to ensure no one ever tries to take power from Kim Jong-un. North Korea executes an average of 150 people per year. Another country famous for its
That is
death row
crazy.
is Egypt. Egypt executes an average of 30 people per year. This This is done by either firing squad or hanging. While they wait for their last day, people on death row in Egypt are sent to very bad prisons, known for overcrowding and harsh conditions. Another country with a famously bad death row is the United Arab Emirates. This surprises many people as it's a popular tourist destination, but beyond the glitz and glamour of Dubai are some truly awful prisons. This is where death row inmates are kept. You can be given a death sentence for various crimes, including the disposal of nuclear waste and leaving Islam. Executions are carried out by firing squad. Which of these death rows do you think was the worst?
Which one would you want to do the least?
They all end in the same result, don't they?
Mate, the stoning one is got to be the worst because that's long.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you got like a thick skull.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jesus,
big rocks on your bones. Yeah,
mate, imagine someone in your family does something, then the whole family has to go.
But that's North Korea. I think you know the gist of what comes with North Korea.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of them. It's crazy there, isn't it? It's like,
That's just mental.
It's off the charts.
No.
They're nuts. But yeah, when I look at some of the things where I was staying in Saudi Arabia once, and they were saying about there was going to be a public execution right near the hotel where I was in, and I was like, "What? I said, you still do that over here?" And it was like, "Oh," then they get all defensive, they get all angry, and I'm like, "Jesus, you can't criticize Saudi."
No.
I said something bad once about, and the guy said who's reported me. I'm not allowed to go there anymore.
Oh, really? Get
I went,
stopped.
shithole anyway.
Don't need to come back.
Thanks for that. Yeah, did me a favour. But it's some of these like leaving Islam as well. Imagine that. Imagine saying tomorrow I'm not going to church anymore. Or whatever. They're going, oh, death row. Hey, that's
Mate,
it for
imagine
you.
watching Family Guy
I know.
dead.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He was listening to K-pop, that guy.
No, I know. Yeah, that's crazy.
Mind you, I guess that could be a. It's good K-pop. Some of it is anyway. But yeah, it's bad that though. It's.
To be fair, K-pop's probably worse because they're rivals of South Korea, aren't they?
Correct. Yeah. Madness, though, it still goes along like that, right? Especially some of the ones like you say, stoning, probably the worst one of the lot.
Oh,
without
that's
doubt.
just
At least when you
crazy.
take a lethal injection, you're still there, you fall asleep, and you don't never wake up again, sort of thing. Hanging's pretty quick. Shooting squad's pretty quick.
Is hanging quick?
Yeah, it breaks your neck straight away, doesn't it? You're like done straight away, sort of thing. It's but yeah, it's brutal. That terrible. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, knowing about what goes on around the world with the with death row. All right.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.